Hi friends, I thought I'd give you an update on my Thriving Through Anxiety videos. If you've been following this video series, you'll know that for several years I have been feeling very, very ill, as well as struggling with anxiety and depression. I've been so discouraged at times that I've nearly given up hope of ever recovering. And I've now passed the 3-year anniversary of the abrupt beginning of my ordeal, which was July 3rd, 2020. But I can now safely say that I'm starting to pull out of this horrible, dark place that I've been in. What's brought about my recovery? Well, I think there's been a variety of things. I believe that over the years, I probably picked up parasites from some of my travels in developing countries. I have a naturopath friend to thank for ridding me of these pests. Thanks, Dee Dee. I have another friend, an iridologist, who educated me in knowing how the body needs supplements and electrolytes and that sort of thing, like potassium, salt, magnesium, etc., and how to stay hydrated. Thanks, Percy. Both of them taught me how to understand and sense how my body is functioning and what it may be telling me day by day. Diet's also played a part. I have enrolled in a program that is helping with diet challenges like cutting out foods, changing dietary practices that have inflamed my digestive system and so on, things like gluten and sugar and dairy, spicy foods, etc., as well as taking bone broth to heal the gut. And all of these things have gone a long way towards healing my digestive system, which has been a major factor in my illness. Thanks, Dr. Cole. Something I only stumbled upon recently has been a vitamin B deficiency. Maybe it's that my body couldn't absorb vitamin B, but whatever the situation, I wasn't getting enough. My relentless searching of the internet has shown that a vitamin B deficiency can be, if not exactly the cause of, then at least a contributing factor in things like an enlarged heart, insomnia and sleep apnea, digestive problems, skin rashes, depression, hypothyroidism, chronic fatigue, blood sugar issues, anxiety, dizziness, and blurred vision. And I'm no medical doctor, so this isn't medical advice of any kind, but I have suffered from all of these things at least one time or another in my journey over 3 years, and B vitamins have helped to make me feel human again. It's my story, my experience. And looking back, I believe I've been functioning with vitamin, mineral, and nutritional deficiencies for many years. I think this has been due to the accumulating toxicity of living in our times. Then in the spring and summer of 2020, the pressures of life and work combined with these deficiencies, combined also with the food and toxin irritants and the parasites to create the perfect storm which took me down for the best part of 36 months. Getting rid of the parasites, supplementing with the right minerals and vitamins, eating differently, reducing stress, and learning how to function despite feeling ill most of the time is what got me through. And I learned that God is big and that I should never give up hope for some kind of miracle, direct or indirect. There were certainly dark spiritual forces at work as well, and I think many would agree with me that spiritual darkness was very evident during the horrible health, social, and political crisis that we all went through starting in 2020. So I think prayer has been a huge part of my recovery. And I want to thank so many friends and family members who prayed for me during this dark and terrible period in my life. I especially want to thank my dear wife who has stood beside me. She's encouraged me. She's put up with me. She's pleaded with God for me. I love you, Melinda. And of course, I want to thank God who's the author of all of this. He allowed this suffering to happen to me for some reason, and He has allowed me to recover from it also for a reason. What role did conventional medicine play in all this? I had many doctor visits and even went to emergency more than 7 times. The medical system that I belonged to ran a variety of tests on me, and they concluded that there is nothing really wrong with me except a slightly enlarged heart. So conventional medicine did me the service of showing what was not wrong with me, where I'm physically strong, and pointing out a few places where I'm weak. But after all the tests, 2 separate doctors ended up telling me straight out that there was nothing really wrong with me, there was nothing more they could do for me, and they suggested counseling. And so I did. I saw several counselors, all of whom concluded that I don't have serious mental or emotional problems. So I was left to my own devices. The internet, and especially YouTube, became my friends. And I must say, I learned a lot about health and wellness. But looking back, I believe my physical problems could have been solved should have been solved months, even years before. The solutions to my problems seem to have been relatively simple. How could mineral and vitamin deficiencies have been overlooked? Parasites are often a relatively easy fix. Transitioning to a non-inflammatory diet would seem to be a no-brainer. I would have thought that these would be among the first things to be checked. I even visited a gastroenterologist who did a scan of at least my stomach and said it was very inflamed, but told me nothing about what to do to fix it. Oh well, so much for the most advanced medical system in the world. I know it all happened during the COVID crisis when that was pretty much all anyone in the medical field could think about. But again, what does that say about the science of it all? Science is supposed to be objective and methodical, not swayed by a single issue, let alone mass hysteria, whether the problem is real or not. Okay, I'm done with my little rant. I hope you'll understand my frustration. After all, I put up with what may have been needless misery for 3 long years. I'm fully aware that my misery was dwarfed by the sufferings of so many others during that same time. In a way, I'm grateful for the experience. God never sends anything our way without some purpose. And of course, we may never fully understand why we go through things, but then faith means trust. So I've had to learn more about trusting in God and His goodness. As a follower of Jesus, I'm confident that, as Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purposes. This is Dr. Michael Bogart for Aspect Ministries. We'll see you next time.